There we go.
Just in time. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the 3200 show, man. Hey, we got a good show for you today, man. I'm laughing right now. We were clouded before the show, man, but this is got a very serious show today. Man. We're gonna be talking about. We're gonna talk about our lowest there. Leo's gonna be sharing. If you've been following the show here the last few weeks, you can tell Leo was a little off. He was very angry and stubborn, and that's just normal Leo. But Leo's gonna tell you what's been going on the last couple of weeks, and then how he overcame. And we're gonna be sharing our stories and it's going on here. We want y'all to hit us up, man. Light up the comments and stuff. We'll be right back after this. We're gonna have a good show today, man. Stay with us.
Hey, the 3200, you know how we connect. 3200 Magnolia was the address. Beaumont, Texas, had to do it like that. Wanna welcome everybody to the podcast. Plenty stories that we gotta explore. From the views of husbands, fathers, entrepreneurs, baby fathers and workers. I know this though for certain. You gon' laugh, have a good time till your side hurting. 3200, but you already know this. You know it. Couple of brothers hard working and focused. Let's go. Intellectual, entertaining for show. 32 double O, let's go. 3200, but you already know this. You know it. Couple of brothers hard working and focused. Let's go. Intellectual, entertaining for show. 32 double O, let's go. Hey, yeah, make sure that you turn it up. Get the talking, ain't no topic that we do not discuss. Yeah, everything and nothing at the same time. Good vibes, tune in, cause you know it's going down. 3200.
All right, welcome back to the show, man. Happy to have everyone here today, man. We've got the bottom. Jonathan's in the house today. We say lowest on the total poll. What's happening, Jay? How you feeling, man? Oh, we'll do the check-in there. So check in, tell us how you feeling between 1 and 10, mentally, spiritually, financially. How you doing? Starting with the bottom. What's happening? How you doing, Jay?
I'm here, man. Rest in peace, Dick Buckus. Rest in peace, Dick Buckus. He just died, 80 years old. Worst name in football, but hey.
I was about to do something really wrong there. R.I.P. Dick, man. We gonna miss you, Dick.
Boss. I'm here. You know, I'm never in a great mood. So
you never want to give us your numbers,
huh?
So you never want to give us your numbers.
I don't even know them. They here. They here. Everywhere. Like the Richter scale. You never know.
Yeah. Then we got Leo. Only one night. Only one night though. Is that something old you left on there?
No. That's the way I'm feeling. That's
okay.
That's the song, man. Only one night though. Ty Tribbett.
So let's do a check-in with you, bro, man. Three things,
I'm
man.
all up now.
Give me your numbers, man. Give me your numbers. How up are you? How up is up?
You said 1 through 10?
Yeah.
Mentally, I'm at that 10. Spiritually, I'm at that 10. Financially, I gotta get back.
Well, got shape back.
Financially, you know, we gotta get back, but we starting in the right direction.
That's dope. And then me, I'm Ike, man. I'll check in the proper way, Jonathan. Financially, I'm still good, man. Still good, getting plenty of overtime right now, so I'm straight. Mentally, I'm higher than I was, man. That little weekend getaway, it helped out a lot, man. So I'm probably like at about an 8 right now. I'm feeling all right. Spiritually, I'm probably at a 5, man. This is my season right now of brokenness. Because everything is breaking. My car's broke down. My house is falling apart. I'm broke down. I'm breaking down. I got pains in all kinds of places. So right now everything is breaking, but thank God, I got a lot of overtime I made this summer there to help with some of that brokenness, most of it there. So we going through it, man. We going through it. Uh, I'm throwing money down the drain, like literally down the drain. We had to repair a drain. Nah. Hey, today, man, we're talking about at our lowest, man. Talk about some of the lowest points in our lives, how we dealt with it, how we felt about it, and things we went through, and how we overcame them. There, we want to share, man. If you got a story, man, go ahead, share in the comments, or if you want to jump on or something, man, and you want to share or whatever. We pull people on. I don't even care today, man. We're in that kind of mood today. You know what I mean? We can pull you on. But go ahead and let us know in there. Also, real quick, do a little housekeeping thing, man. Hey, we partnered up with Grateful Apparel. Some cool clothes on there, man. With that partnership, man, we try to help all our watchers out there, man. If you use the code the 3200, you can save 15% off. And this is the time, man, because we're in that time of giving here. So you're looking for some Christmas clothes and some whatever. Go check out Grateful Apparel. Use that code D3200. You can save 15% off. Like I said, today's show, man, is at the lowest, man, and Leo is recovering. I guess is the correct word.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, recovering from one of his lowest points. I'm gonna let Leo share his story. We're gonna talk about it, and then if we have time, me and Jonathan will share some of our stories when we're at our lowest. Go ahead, Leo, man. Share your story, man. What you been going through here the last few weeks?
So I didn't tell a lot of people, and that's because I think one time we talked about on this show how sometimes the noise is too loud for me. So I only whenever I'm going through things, I usually have my spiritual, my prayer people. I have people who've been through those type of things that I talk with, and I have people who is just positive and stuff like that. Because when you get it out, to me, sometimes it's just a lot of it. To me, it's like noise for me. It's distractions. So what ended up happening was about 2 months ago, at the end of July, we was going down, and we talked about it on this show. When our family friends, like a brother to us, Alfred Thomas, he passed. So we was going down to a funeral, and I was in a funeral. On that morning, I wasn't supposed to go to Beaumont till Saturday, but found out about the passing and everything else. I wanted to be in place for the family if they needed me on Saturday morning. So we decided on Friday we was gonna go down to Beaumont. So right before I left, I sent a message to my supervisor. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to end up taking leave today. I need to take leave today. I got a funeral I gotta go to and stuff like that." So him and his supervisor called me right before that, and they pretty much was like, "Hey, there's a surplus, and you're losing your position, and you got a week, and then we let you go." So you can imagine in the middle of getting ready to go to a funeral, somebody tell you you pretty much lost your job. So um, I'm like, okay, because I'm trying to hold it in on the phone with them. And I'm like, okay, stuff like that or whatever. So as I'm getting ready to pack, I'm telling my wife, getting ready to pack, um, l- job hunting at the same time because I got a week, you know, trying to focus more so on the funeral too, which I think that hit me real hard because it was a surprise. You know what I mean? It wasn't like something I was ready for. I wasn't ready for it. Um, excuse me. So they told me that I'm trying to get ready for that, and it was just crazy. It was just crazy. So went down, went to the funeral. Um, wasn't really focused on the job thing. Went to a funeral, focused on the family thing and everything else. And truthfully, man, tell you the truth, I think the funeral thing hit me harder than the job thing. Truthfully, and you got to understand, for me, it's a state of emergency because, and I was thinking about it the other day. Like, I don't know if you realize, my first job where Uncle Sam was taking funds, because I'm not even gonna count 13 years old. We used to cut grass. I'm not counting that. I've been working since I was 16, and I'm about to be 47 on Sunday, October 8th. So I've been working for 30 years. You know what I mean? Just straight working. No cut. No cut in between. I always had a job. Always. So it's devastating. I'm like, oh my God, I bought a house last November. So my house ain't even a year old yet. And I'm like, house, this, kids. I still got one kid that's still in the house or whatever. So, all this stuff is popping up. And it was hard. It was hard. I told a few people, um, like I said before, you and Jonathan was one of the persons who I talked to about it. Um, but it's also because I knew the positivity, the spirituality, and everything else that you guys was going to bring. So, I brought it to y'all. I didn't tell. This is where it's gonna get bad. The people I didn't tell. I didn't tell my mama. Um, I told my dad. I didn't tell my mama because my mama worries, and her worrying is not helping me in that situation. That's a part of the noise for me, And y'all know I'm kind of OCD ish. So man, if I should have put it on here, but I had a whole spreadsheet, dog. I had a spreadsheet with company names, phone numbers, updates, and stuff like that. You doing all this, and the blessing is coming. That's the way I always felt in the whole thing, and that's why you knew the blessing was coming. I knew it was coming, but you wanted your you want it now. You want that security now. You know what I mean? I'm thankful for y'all, my sister, Jody, my financial guy, because man, I was about to, dog, you don't know where my head was at. My head was like, oh, I'm gonna have to start. Nisha about to get some OnlyFans for some feet. We about to, about to put on the coochie daddy shorts that y'all got for me. Hit them corners. We gotta get money, and my Jody, my financial guy, he sat me down and was like, dude, you got this over here. That's what this over here money is for. And I didn't think of it that way. I was just thinking, I lost, I don't have a job, you know. So it was real hard. It was hard dealing with it. I thank y'all. Y'all was checking in for me. Y'all even sent me some actual jobs that were in my career field. That's another reason why I didn't tell the whole world, because sometimes people try to send you stuff and it's like, that's not in my career field and I can't switch over like that. You know what I mean? I'm not qualified for that. You know, they'll send you anything. But, I always felt like God was there. I felt like God was working it. The beautiful part about it, of this path of this journey, is at the time when this happened, my youngest son was coming back home and he'd been going through some things. So this 2 months that I didn't have a job, I was able to focus on him, because I know if I was working, I wouldn't have been able to give him the attention and the focus that he needed. At the time. So I feel like this was God's work, and this is God's plan. Um, he sat me down, made me be still in order to be there for my son. So it is what it is. But I started work this week on Monday. Got a job. Praise the Lord. Um, it ended up being the pay was better. So it's beautiful. I'm thankful for those who I reached out to and reached back and for the prayers from the people I prayed for. Aunt Ray is gonna give me a whooping, she said, because I didn't tell her. But she was just like she's like a for y'all who don't know, she's like my second mom. So okay. Y'all crazy. She's like my second mom. So if I would have told her, it would have been the same thing. She would have been worried quite a bit, more than what I needed, you know. And also, I support her because she doesn't have any kids, so I support her every month. And so she would have been like, "No, don't." When I know she needed, and that was the way Jody had my money set up. He's like, "Hey, you're still good. You good until January. You can still doing the same budget that you already have." So I was good. God took care of me financially, but it was still the struggle. So that's me.
Yeah. I would say, I mean, and congratulations again, to you. And me and Jonathan was laughing like we family. We all grew up together. So if you didn't watch last week episode when Leo did the clear the throat thing, I know what Jonathan was thinking. He started laughing. It made me laugh because we just idiots like that. We weren't laughing at Leo's story. We was laughing at childhood when Leo used to clear his throat when he was singing and stuff. That's
Well, you go through one voice change. Y'all don't let a person live it through.
But and like I said, we've all been there. I think that military transition is a tough transition, and it lasts a long time in between jobs and stuff. There. My question is because for me, I'm just opposite. Like the time said, I lost my job. The time said we were going through hard stuff. I always lean more on my mom for support than Dad because Dad didn't really give me much. Dad always was like, okay, you be all right. We'll go get a job. And mom, for me, mom was always more supportive. She's like, well, it's gonna be okay, baby. We're gonna pray for you. You're gonna find a job. For me, she was always that more supporting. So I'm just curious why you chose and I don't know, we all got different relationships with our parents, but why you chose to I know why you say you didn't you didn't want to worry or whatever, but why did you choose Dad? And what did Dad say? Because I'm curious of what he said. I know he
Dad,
would say,
he was real cool, because you remember he lost his job for a summer, and it was the same situation. Like the company he worked for was going through cuts, and he lost his position for a summer, and we was down in Houston pretty much for that summer, and everywhere else. So he told me, he went through the same thing. It's gonna be all right. We talked a little bit about finances. I told him, I was worried about that at first, and but I told him I was actually okay, and he said, "Fine." I was like, "Hey, don't tell your sister, don't tell my mama." And I was just like, like I said, I think I picked him over my mama because I felt like, yeah, my mama would be there, but I can hear the worry in her. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And especially in my position and how I am, I think some people I don't know, man. I think y'all probably try to throw me on suicide watch, maybe. Cause it seemed, it
nah.
seemed like y'all always it was like the day when one of y'all would call, "Hey,
Hey,
Mr.
good
Terry."
evening, Mr. Terry.
The day when one of y'all would call, all three of y'all would call. You, Christine, and Jonathan, all three of y'all call the same day, checking up on me. Hey, what's going on? And stuff like that. I tell you, the man, the things that would get you with this whole job hunt thing, the databases that they have you put in, for jobs that mess with your head, because it'll be there and it's just sitting there, especially after an interview, because that was the thing. That's why I've always felt like I was blessed through the whole thing because probably like what was it, the next week or so, I had like 2 or 3 interviews that hit. So God showed me that hey, you want it out there, it's gonna be all right in those aspects. It was just I was trying to like I said, that's why I put that only one night though on there. That was one of the songs because it was serious, man. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was serious.
I don't think we had you on suicide watch, but we could really tell that it was affecting you, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think all of us, what I mean, my low was really low. And it always hit, like you said you lost your best friend. And then, the same day you lost your best friend and you pack it up for the funeral and they call you. It's like, they always come in bunches. Like bad times don't just come once
Yeah.
and 6 months later, like everything always pounds down at you once. Like my lowest time was during my transition. We transitioned out to military. I didn't have a job, didn't know what's going to go on. Me and my wife, we were just starting our separation mode, and we were having a whole lot of stuff in our relationship, and just thing after thing, everything was going bad at one time. And I was getting beat up. So I knew exactly where it was coming from, but I also knew the end result. Like when I'm talking to you, that's why I was like, bro, you're going to be okay. Just take that time. I think one of the text messages like, this is your time. Like just reset everything, reset your spirit, reset everything. Cause this is that time. Cause that's what I had to do in that time. I went, you go through them, what's the 7 stages or the 12 stages of grief, however many stages there are, you go through all of that in those moments. And I was angry. And I know you probably was angry. You're sad. You're going through all of this stuff. But, having gone through that, and you were way better off than I was. I put you there. You had at least 6 months good. When I was down, I had like 2 weeks. Like, what I mean? Like, oh shit, they about to take this call. It's like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you was way better off. So I was looking at it like, bro, you good, bro. What are you talking about? Why are you so?
I know, and that's like I said, that's what really would mess me up in the head because it's like you good, but in your head, you know what I mean? In your mind, I'm not good, because there isn't anything coming in, but you still stable and you can still float. But in my mind, it's like I'm not good because, like you said, my transition out of the military, I didn't have no break. While I was transitioning, I actually got another job. And in fact, it was so crazy. On my leave, my terminal leave, when we was doing in Nebraska, when we was doing my military retirement, I had to leave my job, throw on my uniform, do my retirement at lunch, and then right after my retirement, had to put my clothes back on for my job and head back over to my job. So I never had a breaking point. So that part right there in my head was like, and like you said, it was like I would myself up, but then in the end too, like you said, it was like, hey, you still are good, you still are doing good and stuff like that. I don't know if you knew when we went to New Orleans, I wasn't gonna go dog. I was trying to think of every excuse. Good
I
thing,
know you was trying to blame it on your wife and blame it on everybody. It's like, bro,
man.
you need
Good
this.
thing,
You need this.
Jonathan, you did the right thing by not going. Because if Jonathan would have went, I would have been like, "Well, Isaac ain't going by himself. He got jumped." Because it's kind of like The View to me. It's kind of like, how can you say you ain't got no job, and you taking a trip to New Orleans when it was like I said, I'd already paid for
Yeah.
that trip.
But why do we care about what other people think? Like, and that's
It's
one thing. That's
it's
one
a
thing I
mental
think.
thing.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. Coming from a Christian household, I think that was one thing, one mistake. I wish they wouldn't have put so much pressure on us about doing this. Is thinking it took me a while. My wife actually kind of coached me out of there. Like, why do you care? What do you care? Like, it's always worried about what other people are thinking about you. And that adds so much extra stress on your shoulders, like worrying about, oh, they're going to think I'm doing this. How you think I'm doing this? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And my wife kind of got me in the mood with like, I don't give a, you know what I mean? I don't give a what they think. I know who I am. I don't care what other people think. Like it like sometimes that puts so much pressure on, like it would put so much pressure on me growing up, worried about what people thought about me, that I would not be myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I gave that up and really gave less, you know, like, hey, I'm gonna be me, whoever I am, that helped me out so much. That put so much stress and took so much pressure. Like, I don't care. You know, you don't know. You know, people didn't know. You know, you went to New Orleans, but they don't know anything about, you know, what happened or whatever. You know what I mean? You know, I told you was good. You know, I'm your brother. Hey, I got you. I want you to go to New Orleans with me because I need to get some stress
in
off
New
of
Orleans,
me.
I was counting every penny.
I had
In
you,
my-
though. I had you.
Every penny in my bank. And I really didn't have to, but it was the mental. What's so crazy about it is, you know, and we talked about it, my wife got PTSD. She
Hold on,
actually
real quick, Leo. Terry, man. Like this different show here, man. It ain't no normal interview, man. We sharing and everything. So Terry, I hear you say you went rock bottom, been there and learned. Let us know what you learned, how you got over it, man. You know, we sharing our hard times, but we're hoping that our hard times help somebody else get through there. So if you got any, and that's for all the viewers, man. If you got anything to help somebody else out, throw it in the comments. Let us know, man. I think this is one of them things. Like, it's easy to do shows and be like, you shouldn't be doing that. Then I wish you wouldn't do that. And judging people and doing that, it's easy to do those type of shows. But to share those moments, those hard moments, and how you overcame, I think those are way more impactful than giving advice and doing all that stuff like we usually do. So share it with us, Terry. Let us know. Go ahead, Lee. I apologize.
Yeah. As most of y'all know, as we stated, you know, my wife got PTSD from her time in the military. She really held me up and held me down. I think all y'all was sensing the difference in me. You know, if somebody was real close to me, you know, they knew and understood, you know. But I had y'all, I had Sharon, a sister from another mother and father. And my other best friend, Erica, and her husband Glenn, they all helped me. You know, everybody checked in on me and stuff like that. So um it was just a time. It was just something, but like you said, a lot of the stuff was mental, was me and my mental and everything.
I tell you one other thing, Jonathan. I want you to chime in. Jonathan, you've been quiet, man. You've been quiet. But I think one other thing, and Jonathan, you can chime in on this too. I think one of the things, like when I was at my lowest, like one of the mental things in my mind was, I'm going to disappoint my mom and dad. I felt like, you know, I did not succeed at the time. And I felt like, you know, that phone call, you know, I talked to mom and dad after, you know what I mean, while I'm going through the stuff. Because my down lasted, it lasted like a year and a half between 2008 and 2010. It was probably the roughest time of my life. But that phone call before calling mom and dad and just letting them know the news, like, mom, dad, hey, I'm broke. You know what I mean? That phone call right there, I was so disappointed. I was scared of their disappointment. It was more a mental thing, and I thought I was going to get a reaction from them. And the reaction I got after was actually opposite. It's like, okay, it's going to be okay, babe. You know what I mean? That's the message I got from them. But just that mental thing, like I'm going to disappoint my parents. Even now, like, hey, I'm going to disappoint my wife because, hey, I said I'll be able to take care of it. I'll be able to take care of these bills. And now I got to explain to her why the car not there in the morning. You know, you know what I mean? And at this point, you know, the kids ain't going on like that just facing that disappointment. Like, did y'all have that in y'all lowest points, and how did y'all deal with that?
Yeah, you always gonna feel like you're not a man. You feel your parents, but the man you look yourself in the mirror and you feel like you're not a man. I put my name as the bottom because shit, I don't even know what it feels like to be at the top. I'm always every day is a struggle. Every day I'm checking my pocketbook. Every day I'm looking for opportunity for new opportunities. So I don't even know what the top look like. I don't know what the middle look like. I'm always at the bottom. So I never really care about what anybody
Pause.
say. Nah, I never care what anybody say, man. I never have. When I want to laugh, I laugh. If I want to talk about somebody, I talk about somebody or do whatever I want to do. That's how I always move. So it's never bothered me. The only thing, like you said, is looking yourself in the mirror and you feel like a disappointment to your family, to yourself, to your immediate family, to just like a failure to your family tree. you know. But you get back up after a while of going through that and building up. I say every trial, after every trial comes a tribulation. Every tribulation should build you up. I mean, I had times where me and LaQuinta, when we first moved to Temple, and when I was transitioning, when I started losing everything from apartment to car to everything, we had guests at the house, and I got a knock on the door, and they was repoing the car. So I was just happy at that. He let me get all my stuff out the car. So when I came back upstairs, I was laughing. They was like, "What you laughing at?" I said, "Oh, this dude just repoed our car. We ain't got no car." And they were looking at me. I was like, "Hey, it was funny, man." At least at least he knocked on the door. But I always I don't let anything like that, material or anything like that, bother me. I just figure a way out. I gotta keep pushing. And then like the same instance, we found out she pregnant. Then we on the food stamps and WIC. You know what I mean? I'm walking to the store, to Walmart. With my backpack full of groceries in my hand. I just do what I gotta do, man, and that's all I know. And that's what I learned from my daddy and my mama and uncles and aunts and grandparents. You just gotta do what you gotta do. Uh, Put the pride to the side, take that humility on the chin and keep it rocking. So I've never cared about none of that. As long as my people good, I'm good. So, that's how I always manage through all the storms and the
Yeah,
tests and trials.
yeah. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like one of my lowest points, man. I think they had repossessed
That
Ebony
happened.
car.
That happened to me too, Lincoln.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lincoln said his was repossessed at work. Mine was
Yeah,
repossessed.
that happened to me at the school. I left on the school bus, came back. The kids was because we had a glass, it was all glass. The kids was like, "Somebody took your car, Mr. Luther." I said, "Oh yeah, they just doing repairs, they just doing." But I got that bad boy by the end of the week. You know what I'm saying? I hustled and got it back. Everything you lose, you can get it back plus more.
Yeah. But I ain't gonna lie, it was like one of my lowest points, man. Ebony just got a car repossessed, man. And I think I was working for like $9 an hour. We really ain't have enough money to get by. And Derek lost his job, and he stayed at my apartment. And then I had Todd at my apartment too. Todd working the same $9 job as us. So I had two extra people. I think Ebony had just had a Kale. And I had my two older daughters in the apartment too. So we had like 6 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. And shoot, me and Kid Derek and Todd was down there. I mean, we was real close. We was joking, but I was kind of serious. Like, man, we want to go hit this bank up real quick. They was joking, but I was serious. Like, shoot, man, I need some money. I don't know how we gonna feed all of these people. Before I get back to you, Leo, let me jump on some of these comments there. Let me jump back up to Terry's getting out of bed. All right, Terry said, when you wake up and go to sleep broke, gotta find that strength to make yourself better. I was never depressed. I just knew I had to get out of it. And that's the thing too, man. Never quitting, man. Never giving up. You got to keep that hustle, like Jonathan was saying earlier too. Lincoln said his car was repossessed when he was a teacher, man, at work. Ebony Faith Love said we have had times of lack. All I could get on only WIC and $2 worth of food stamps using cloth diapers. Yeah. We had to use. Yeah, that's how bad it was. We was broke. We couldn't even afford diapers, man. We was using them cloth diapers like the old school, man. Just trying to make it. Terry said, what changed mindset was when I went to food stamp office and the lady told me I only qualified for $15 and she had a smile on her face. Ever since that day, I never looked back. Like that is the worst too. When you broke and you know you broke and you're trying to get some help and then the help ain't helping. I think we had went to I think that's what Ebony was talking about. Like the food stamp people like, yeah, you get $5. Like, what the hell I'm gonna do with these $5? Oh, go ahead, Leo. We was talking about the disappointment. I think that was the last thing.
I don't think I really had anybody that I felt that I was disappointing or anything else like that. Not even my wife, because it was just something that popped up.
Yeah.
We
That's
all know
T,
that.
man. T said great topic. That I'm sure Mr. Mouton is proud of y'all, but Mr. Mouton told him Christina's still his favorite.
Yeah,
That's funny,
she
but
is
it's true.
his favorite.
Yeah, we all know that.
That's when since she was born, man.
That's
We
funny,
ain't
but
never
it's
taken
true.
that spot.
Nah.
But
I'm sorry, Leo.
but
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I don't think it was a disappointment. I didn't feel that. Like Mr. Terry said, I was heading towards depression, but so I just started doing projects in the house. Me and Jaleel, my son, we started. We put up a couple of fans. We stained the deck out back. Anything that needed to be done. I was trying to find ways to keep myself busy as much as I could because it's only so many places you can apply for it too. You know, and I think a lot of I don't think it was the anger. I think the anger and frustration, a lot of anger and frustration in my career field, in the IT career field. You can one job can say they want a systems engineer, and their definition of systems engineer is a whole different from another job. So not only are you only applying for this type of job, you got to read the whole description and everything and see if you qualify for this job. So it's not a quick, click apply. It's kind of like a welder. I know I'm a welder. I know where to look for welder jobs. I know to click because it's going to say welder. It's not like that without. So it's like you sitting there and you reading and you read, and it's the frustration. It's like, okay, I got this. Oh, I don't have this. I don't have that because my career feels so broad. So it's like, oh, I got this. I can do this. Should I apply for it? Shouldn't I apply for it? And stuff like that. It's crazy, and it plays with your head, and then after a while, you just like, So to fight the depression that I know was happening and was coming towards me, projects, trying to keep up routines, gym, getting out of bed, um, you know, uh, making myself get out of bed, you know, and stuff like that. And like I said, a lot of this stuff was in my mind, counting the pennies that I had. It's like shit, if I bought this, I'm thinking about later on, oh, will I need it later on? Will I need it? And it's frustrating and gets to you. It can break your spirit.
Yeah. I tell you the truth. Like at my, when we were going through it, what I mean, and mine was difficult too. Like I said, when I was, in between jobs, trying to figure everything out, and me and my wife, we were separated for about a year, and then we got back together. We're trying to fix our relationship, and Um, I'm still trying to find a job, and we're still figuring it out. Like the one thing I really do appreciate, and it made me fall in love with her just a little bit more because, like I said, we were really, really, really struggling. And like you talked about earlier about like hushing the noise, because the noise will just get you more angry. You know what I mean? And my wife, sometimes, women have this thing like when things are going bad, they'll come and start questioning everything. Like, well, what you gonna do now? Well, why you do that? Why don't you do that? They start asking questions, and that noise kind of cloud up everything, cloud up your thinking, and it actually makes you more angry when they start asking those questions than they calm the system down. And I was grateful, in those moments. It's like she didn't come and question me, like, well, why you ain't got a better job? She didn't come and question me on all of that stuff. What she did, she just stepped it up. She's like, okay, we're going through that. You're looking for a job. Why are you looking for a job? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go run, try to get my CDL. I'm gonna try to do bus driving. I'm gonna see if we can do 2 or 3 other jobs. I'm gonna apply for these stamps. We're gonna apply for this WIC. We're gonna try to get as much. She stepped it up. She didn't step down and wait for me to fix it. She stepped up like, okay, hey, I'm gonna help you through it, and together we're gonna figure this out. So I appreciate that. And that love. And it sounded like kind of like Nisha was the same way with you when you're going through that. Like she was your support, and did Jonathan the same thing. Just if y'all don't mind, just kind of speak on that and how important having that support and having someone that understands and kind of pushes you versus somebody who is questioning you. I think they got I don't know. The little couple right now, the pastor, somebody, and the lady, they going through some stuff, and they got they house. It's been going down my timeline. I don't know who the lady is, but I think she did just the opposite. They got their house. They got kicked out of the house. Have y'all been seeing that? It's a weird story. I'll shoot you that story, but I think she did just the opposite with it. Like, well, why our house is gone and it's old. She walking away because it ain't easy no more. But go ahead, kind of speak on that, like that support system you had behind y'all, both of y'all. I want to kind of hear about the support system you had about you and how that support kind of helped you get through the hard time.
You can go, John.
Well, it's just like, I mean, if you play sports, it's a team. So if you know your team got your back, then it makes it easier and it motivates you. But I just see like something just today, like how Marshawn Lynch was talking about Russell Wilson. You calling him on block phones, you know what I mean? You acting weird. So, if people bring more issues to the problem, then it's going to be a harder struggle. And then at the same instance, that's why you have your brothers out here. They give up because they feel like they out here all alone and don't have a support at the home. The home team got to be your support, got to be your background. So every situation, every relationship's different. So like me and LaQuinta, I needed to get out there because we had all these little kids. So I didn't really want her to stress. So I had to work, drive school buses in the morning, go to school during the day, cut hair during the day, go back to driving school buses, then go to Home Depot that night, do some stocking. I just had to do what I had to do because I knew she was taking care of the kids. So everybody's situation is different. Just as long as the team back at the house got your back, it makes it easier.
My support system, Nisha was real good. She kept me focused. She realized to relax. Like I said, I didn't really realize how much I've been working since 16. You know what I mean? 30 something years of work and no real time to relax, focus on myself because I always thought about the job. You know what I mean? So it was like, hey, take this time to relax. And like I said, my spreadsheet, I would try to bring my spreadsheet to look, I applied for these places, but she really wasn't interested as much, she was more so like, hey, you're gonna get a job, it's gonna come. But while it's time that you um do things, focus on yourself. What things do you feel like you missed that you haven't done for all these years because of the job, because you missed this or missed that, or things you want to get back into, you know, and stuff like that. And so I think she kept me mentally sane doing this whole thing. And I don't know if it's because maybe she used some of the stuff that she got, you know, went through and was taught going through her mental situations or what. But I think having that there and having somebody who's not, you know, like you said, having somebody who's there who's not stressing you out, and because your stress levels are already way higher than what they can give you anyway, is double to me. So having somebody there and to be in your corner, like you said, yeah, it was something that was needed. That got me through. It got me through.
Yeah, man. Because you know, you look at Mike Tyson's career. When he had a good corner, he knocking everybody out. Then when my man died, it was a wrap. So you gotta have somebody in the corner, man. You know, you
Yeah.
ain't got a good corner, yeah, you ain't gonna make it. And like Leo, like what I was saying with Leo, I knew you were gonna be all right because you know, you stayed positive, even though you was frustrated and wanted things to happen quicker. You always stayed positive, and you know, you kept doing stuff. You know, and that's what you gotta do, man. I gotta stay
Mm,
doing stuff, man. You gotta keep the
yeah,
Yeah.
projects going.
Keep that mind moving. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
stay busy, stay occupied.
Yeah.
I think in that too, I try to keep and stay. I was thinking about like you said, I was thinking about this song only one night. I was thinking about you know, I'm gonna miss my blessing if I don't try to stay positive and stay in a path. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
kind of like I can't be negative about it. You know, there are people that like we said, truthfully, dude. You know, I'm like I'm saying, I'm counting every penny, but I'm a retired vet that gets 2 paychecks for the rest of my life. So I still have money coming in.
Yeah.
But in my I saw that too. But in my head, it's just, you know what I mean? It was just like I was a whole lot worse off than what I really was.
Yeah.
And you know, I was trying to, like you said, I made it. I forcefully made myself be as positive as I could be in the situation I was in.
Yeah, we're happy. You know, you're able to mend your relationship with your.
Yes, son. There. Father say Kirk Franklin.
You
Nah.
know,
Terry brings up one thing I want to kind of ask you about here because we didn't see that from you, and I know it was hard for me. But Terry says one thing he always knew was that his 4 brothers had his back always, and that's one thing I think in my lowest points that it was so hard for me, and I can't explain it. I think it's a pride thing. It was so hard for me to ask for help. Like I would not ask for help until I had about at least 6 debt collectors calling me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
and the car loaded up on the back of the truck is like, oh, okay, maybe I need help now. You know, I was so proud for that. We have a whole lot of family in emphasize. When I was broke, some of my family was doing very well, but I did not. It just seemed like if I asked or if I begged, something like that, it's just like it just hurt my pride. Like I did not want to ask. I think I borrowed some money from my dad eventually, and I paid it back. Even he didn't want it back, but I paid it back, and he don't know I paid it back, but I paid it back. But just getting to that point and asking for some money, or like asking for some help, it was like the hardest point. And Leo, you didn't ask me for no help, but you ain't asked. I don't know if you asked Jonathan for no help, but I mean, with y'all at y'all lowest points, did y'all struggle with that also?
Um, I didn't have to struggle through it with this because you guys was always volunteering to help. You know, so I knew Christine asked me multiple times if I was okay, if I needed, you know, stuff like that, and I was like, I'm fine, and you know, and stuff like that. I'm fine until January. If we still in this in January, then your brother might need to move in with you or something. But yeah, I don't feel like you guys all were there to help if I needed and with the hand out, if I needed it, and praise the Lord, I didn't have to get down to that to where I would have needed it, you know. But I was in
Yeah.
my mind. Oh yeah, I was.
Mama.
Yeah, in my mind, man. It was
Yeah.
crazy. It was crazy, you know. But
And I think we got to get comfortable doing that. I don't know. Like I said, it's still uncomfortable for me if I'm in some trouble. It's like I'm not gonna ask. I would rather, still do payday loans. I'd rather do whatever. I'm just not going. You know what I mean? When I can save a whole lot of money on that 50% interest rate or whatever. but it was hard. It was real hard for me to get to the point. It was like, well, let me ask him, because I was so afraid that you was gonna say no, or you would think less of me. I think that was the biggest thing. It's like, if I asked one of y'all for some money, you were gonna think less of me, and I was gonna be a disappointment on y'all.
Yeah. Nah, I started like that, but at the end of the day, hell, we used to share food and we had the stock market at the damn kitchen table,
Yeah.
exchanging food. So that's how I started to look at it. Okay, we just share clothes to food to one bathroom. So money ain't nothing.
Nah, I don't think for y'all. Most of the time, my daddy taught me a thing about that. He was like, don't loan people money if you expect them to pay you back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
pretty much, that's why if I and I tell people that's close to me, I'm like, hey man, if I say no about money, I don't have it. I just don't, and I don't have a problem saying I don't have it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I done borrowed
That's
money.
one thing I wish, because I was thinking about that too. You mentioned it earlier in the show, but I was thinking about that when we was kind of planning for the show. And I was thinking, remember my dad, we work for the same, I work for the same company my dad retired from right now. And so I know how the company works now. And I was just thinking about, all the times I got laid off. And I was thinking about, like, my dad got laid off and I don't even remember it. Like, I wish he wouldn't have sent us away. I wish he would have kept us there to kind of see him go through it. So we knew, you know what I mean? Because I didn't think about it till the other day. I was like, he got laid off and he didn't even really tell us. Like, we started working for a different company, and I remember him working for the other company. I was like, but there was a space in between that. What happened in that space? You know what I mean? And we didn't see it because he didn't want us to see it, and he kind of hid that from us. But I think coming up and going through the stuff we would have went through, I think it would have been better if I had seen how he dealt with the situation. It would have been, I think it would have prepared me a little bit more.
Well, we saw it. What we saw was he needed to send all them kids to sisters and brothers' house. I can't afford all y'all.
And they took his favorite truck too. They repoed his truck. They took that truck before he was even late. He was just like, hey.
We didn't know what repo was. Like, I remember the red truck, and then I was like, what happened to the red truck?
They repoed that truck before he even. That was one thing I didn't do too. I didn't call up how usually you call up your bank or whatever and everything. I didn't do none of that. I didn't do none of that. I was like, y'all ain't taking my car before it's time.
Listen, you've got 90 days before they take you. Hey, you can keep it in a good spot. You can make it a little bit longer.
I know how to hide a car.
Listen, they can't take it if you ain't got the wheels on it.
Check out the wheels.
They did me that on one of my cars, man. I had a flat and I couldn't afford to fix the flat, so it was on flat and I had the wheel off. It sat with the wheel off for like a month. As soon as I could afford to put the wheel on it, the next day that bug was gone.
What's so bad about it? They probably staked out your car and tell some dude in his car.
Nah.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I had that before where they were staking out a car. They kept coming by, knocking at the door. Oh, it ain't even here, man. It's in the shop. After I start to know who was coming, I'm like, man, I ain't answering the door. And then you know how they got me? I was out of town working, and it was a crazy day because LaQuinta was moving for me, and I wasn't in town, and she had that damn garage door open. I said, God damn, why you why you let the car I said, you ain't have to let him close that garage. I said, God dang.
Hey, my last one I got, man. I don't know if y'all had anything else. There's just one thing, just kind of going through my thoughts here. Was at your lowest, where was your faith? When you was at your lowest, where was your faith?
This time, my faith was high because I knew God had something planned for me, and God had a reason. So my faith was high, but I done had other times when I feel like my faith wasn't where it should have been, or whatever. I try to do it all myself, and then I finally, went to, I can, it was, I didn't get nothing right, and then when I finally went to Him, that's when everything just fell in line. So this time I learned from those last times, and I have to say my faith, even through the whole thing, you asked me through the whole thing, is my faith was always high. I knew it was coming. It was just I had to wait. And I had to deal with, like I said before, with my son, I had to deal with his issues because he needed that at the time. He needed me to be there for him, to help him through this situation and everything that he's going through his, because he's going through a transition too. So to go through his transition. So I say my faith was high this time.
Yeah. Miss Terry said his faith was high because his mother's faith and belief in all of us, she was always positive. Yep, that strong mother always helps there. Jonathan, when you was at your lowest, where was your faith?
Man,
You like how I did that dramatic pause?
Yeah, it was, it was everywhere. I can't really say it was up and down because depending on the situation, a lot of times it's unshakable. I don't worry about it, but then you have such things like when we lost our daughter, right before we was about to have her. So I was kind of in and out of there. I was up and down. It was shaky because I had a dream about having a daughter, and LaQuinta had a dream, and then Faith Love had a dream as well. So I was like, okay, if we had dreams about a girl and we just lost the baby, what the heck going on? But after a while and just talking about it, because that's the thing, just the word of your testimony, as the Bible say. As more of I talked about it, it was kind of getting it off of my chest and getting it out of my head. It built my faith more. So, it just depends on the situation. That one, it was kind of shaky. When it's anything like material, it really don't bother me. I feel like I got like a lot of favor when it comes to vehicles because I done went through probably about 15 vehicles and probably about 13 of them been repo. No, I'm kidding, but a lot of them been repo. So I don't really care about when it comes to the physical things. It's more of when it's something personal, more personal, like my daughter and stuff like that. Then it's kind of rocky road because I could just go get one of Leo cars or something like that. I can steal one of his.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Nah, for me, like all the time, just like Leo, like I went through, like when you get your low, it's like the first while, it's hard. It's hard, and I'm not even thinking about it. I'm angry, frustrated, trying to figure things out, and then it comes to that point where like you get to your lowest, and you just like you're ready to give up, and then it seemed like my faith was always the highest when I was at my lowest. It was always at the highest. Like you get for me, I always got a closer relationship with God. Then I depended on him more because I had nothing. You know, I always depended on him more because I had nothing. And it kind of humbled me, man. It was always humbling, like, man, this is where you need to be at with your faith all the time, whether you're doing great, whether you're doing bad. This is the point you should be at it. And I still, I can't sit here and be like, I go up and down. I never stopped believing in God, but I could be better. You know what I mean? And but in those moments, when things are hard, it's just I've come to a point where you get so I can depend on God a little bit better. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I don't have anything. So that's dope. That's dope. We here at that hour mark. If we need to go a little bit longer, y'all let me know. But did y'all have anything? Anything else we need to add?
Yeah. I think the thing I need to add is just some tips, I guess, going through those things. I know one of the main things, I'm a musical person, so one of the main things I did was I keep songs on repeat. I have songs for these situations. Some people have Bible verses for these situations. Whatever you have for these situations, yeah, it'd be my last one. Whatever you have for these situations, do it. I mean, the song that I had this time was like I said, was Ty Tribbett, Only One Night. That helped me out. And also Kirk Franklin and the Family, the one song, He'll Never Put More on You Than You Can Bear. And that helped me out through other times when I had low times, but if you have that in you and you believe that and listen to that, and if you gotta just keep it on repeat, you just keep it on repeat, because that's what I did. I put the earphones on, I kept it on repeat, and he got me through. So if you musical like me, find you songs or a playlist or something that can just give you that positivity, give you what you need through those times. And that's my last words.
It's no Pound Town or Cha Cha Cha.
Hey, if Pound Town is your thing, I don't know what it's going to do for your situation, but hey, maybe you might be kind of having struggles in that part of your life, and maybe I don't know, but
Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods.
for me,
Gotta stay loose.
I attribute a Kirk Franklin.
Be loose like Tiger.
No, that's a good word there, Lee. That's a good word. Look, I think my last words would be don't give up. And I think one thing I have to I kept reminding myself, or I keep reminding myself whenever I'm feeling low, depressed, or you know what I mean, or I'm going through some things. I think one thing I always got to tell myself, and my wife always say, "You're always thinking positive," or whatever. Is I always say, "Well, somebody's going worse. Somebody's doing worse than I'm doing. So why can I complain about this?" You know what I mean? Hey, my car broke down, and my sink is, there's people right now that don't have a car or a sink. You know what I mean? So someone's doing worse. So I can't complain or be ungrateful for the situation I'm in. This is gonna just last, like Leo said, this is only gonna last one night. You know what I mean? I just got to get through and keep faith. So that's my last words. I'm keeping short to this week there. Just don't give up. Don't give up. You got to keep on pushing, and you just got to keep on pushing hard. Jonathan, last words.
Yeah, man. Just always remember your last struggle. Just remember that you got out of it. So, man, you're gonna get out of this one too. But you just can't, jump off a bridge or nothing. Just keep your head up and just stay working, stay busy, and it'll all work out. And you gotta be humble. That's the main thing. You gotta be humble, because I done did it all. From doing sidewalks, riding in the back of a truck like a Mexican from Mexico. I done did it all. I didn't pour tobacco in mop buckets, cleaning up the Central Texas Expo and Belt. I mean, you just tip jobs like your wife was saying. I mean, I I did it all from the lowest of the low. From working at every warehouse you can think of. I didn't work at a dog warehouse, put dog food in bags, whatever you got to do. Just do it as they would say back in the day, an honest work, make an honest living. And that doesn't mean you have to be in the office or executive. It just means you ain't robbing nobody or harming somebody or robbing a bank or whatever. You doing whatever you got to do to make that honest living. This little gnat I'm about to kill. But yeah, man, just stay busy, stay humble, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do, till whatever you're trying to get to, that goal you're trying to get to comes up, man. And anything is better than nothing. I say me and my boy every day, we was like $1 is better than none. So if you made $1 today, hey, that's more than zero. So keep your head up, straighten up and fly right, and do your thing, man. And Leo, keep doing your projects with your son, man.
Yeah, we're gonna stay on it. We're gonna stay on it. We're gonna get it right. It's a lot of things that we learned, and maybe one day we can invite him to the show and we can talk about some of the things.
Yeah, man. I just shout out to the fathers, man. I feel like we're in a season where the fathers and sons are building these bonds, because our other brother, Kaderic, he's doing the same thing with his son. They're doing a lot of projects, and they've had their times, but it's good to see fathers and sons coming together, bonding. We've seen it all our life, going fishing when we didn't want to at 5 a.m. to pleasure.
Yeah,
I love going fishing. You forgot about Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin get with his real dad, and also he bonded with his son.
Yeah.
Father's Day, man. It's Father's Day.
Even in the season.
Yeah, man. But don't be asking for no Christmas presents. But yeah,
hey.
Good job, y'all.
Don't be asking me either, man. I'm trying to build it back up.
Build that wall.
Hey, man. Hey, great show tonight. Great show tonight. Thank you guys for being transparent. Yeah, excuse me, and sharing some of your lowest moments. Like, this is stuff that you really don't hear a lot of people talk about, man. And a lot of stuff I shared today, I've never really shared. I kept it to myself. I talked to y'all privately, but I appreciate y'all sharing that. And then also people in the comments, everybody, man, from Lincoln, Mr. Terry, everybody who shared their experience, what they went through. I think it helps people out, because that one, like I said earlier, that one thing, you're not the only one that went through it. Somebody went through it before you. Somebody going through it right now with you. So you can get through it just like everybody else get through it. So again, appreciate y'all for lighting up the comments, sharing everything. Make sure, man, you go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the show. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the bell, man. Hit the notify button so you get notified for each one. I hate you.
I bet you up now. Hey, one last thing, man. That one thing that you feel like embarrasses you, because that's how I feel like when you get through these moments, like somebody pulled the pants down on you. Hey, that's the thing that's gonna elevate you. So that embarrassment only elevates you. So do your thing, man. Don't be embarrassed, humiliated.
Nah. All right, appreciate that, y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. We'll see you next time here on the 3200. I can't stand you. Peace.
Hey. 3200, but you already know this. Couple of brothers hard working and focused. Let's go. Intellectual, entertaining for show. 3200, let's go.